All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Happy Monday. Happy Moon Day. I'm so excited to be back doing a Facebook Live. It's been forever, right? I'm so excited that my schedule, my life, reality has, calmed down, and I can do this more regularly moving forward. So I'm very excited to let you know that expect more lives, expect more insights, expect more fun. And thank you to all those who have stayed with me, stayed with the Lunar Ladies group and commented, liked, shared, and shared your own experience. Thank you for the comments. When I ask questions like, what's up for you? What are you grateful for? How's it going? I really love seeing your comments, and I really appreciate each one of you when you take the time to share what's going on and let us get a chance to connect with you and say hello. It really means a lot. So thank you for that. And to all the new members who may have not had a chance to see me yet, because I haven't been on live for a while due to personal reasons, taking care of my mom and just different things shifting and changing. My name is Shannon, and I am the owner operator of Lunar Ladies. This is my Facebook group. I'm so lucky and grateful to be surrounded by such an amazing community of souls who are on fire, right? We're here to evolve. We're here to grow and expand and work through our medicine using our gifts, our skills, our talents from a soul level, a higher self level that we bring with us in each incarnation. And we use those gifts that we've developed, those talents and skills that we've, mended in each life and really, developed as an apprentice throughout our many lifetimes. We bring them forward into this present life, and they're our medicine. They're our medicine not only to help ourselves heal, but also when we get to the other side of what the things that we struggle with, they become the medicine that we can offer to someone else. So it's a beautiful thing that we get to do as we incarnate as souls into the earth plane. And it's an even more beautiful thing when we get to come into community and share together. And so this is the vibration of what I'm going to talk about today. And I'm just going to be about 20 minutes. And feel free, I'm going to make a YouTube out of this so that if you have friends who are not in the Facebook group yet, you can share it as a YouTube link. If you find the information helpful or useful, or you think it might be good for someone else to hear, feel free to share. And feel free to invite friends. And it's not just, it's called Lunar Ladies, but we do accept very grounded, wonderful, whole, divine masculine souls into our space, and they are welcome as well if they're interested in learning more about astrology and how astrology can help them in their lives, as well as understanding the power of the moon and to heal that emotional body so that you can do more, feel more, expand more, enjoy more. So when we connect with the moon, we're also reconnecting to nature and the cycles and the seasons and the all sentient life around us. So the starting point to really reconnect as a soul embodied in the physical world is starting with the moon. It's our primary core root self. When we look at it astrologically, your moon sign is your core self. It's how you bond, how you connect, where you go to find those roots of, if things are out of balance. Go into that moon space in your chart, really understand it. What phase of the moon were you born under? What sign of the moon were you born under in your natal chart? What house of the 12 zodiac astrological houses is your moon sitting in? All three of those things give you the baseline for your core root self. And it's through that core root self that we can make permanent changes, transformations. And of course, we have other tools in other planets and other parts of our charts that help us. But when we're really looking at, inner childhood wounds, things that we've experienced as, when we were young and didn't have the power or empowerment that we do as adults, and we're going back and maybe doing shadow work or diving deep into those things, or even working on ancestral issues within the family tree. Go to that moon, go to that fourth house, and I'll be talking more and more and more about that. I do have a special announcement I'm going to share with you on the full moon coming up. Very excited about that. New opportunities for you to experience working as a group together, experience working with me directly and learning about yourself. So expect that in about a week or so. We have the full moon in Sagittarius coming up. And speaking of Sagittarius, happy birthday to all the Geminis. Sun went into Gemini yesterday. So we're in the season of Gemini officially. Happy birthday to all those born under the sign of Gemini, the twins. They teach us about communication, how to have fun, be interested and curious about things. They're ruled by Mercury, and who's the great messenger of the gods. Okay, so let me talk to you a little bit. I was very excited. I probably will take a picture of my notes. These are my notes. This is how, when I look at a chart and I start breaking things down, this is what I end up with. And so I was really excited when I saw this. I'm like, this is Lunar Ladies information. I need to share this with as many people as possible because it's pretty awesome. Okay, so what am I talking about? Jupiter went into Taurus. Now, Jupiter, you just think about the solar system, and Jupiter is our biggest planet. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It's the planet of good luck. If you're into the tarot, it's the Wheel of Fortune, right? It is expansive, jovial, spiritual, big picture, everything that expands. It's kind of like a little bit of like King Midas. Everything King Midas touches turns to gold, right? So Jupiter is that good luck, good feeling, expansive powerhouse vibration that we could tap into and utilize its gifts in our life. Now, Jupiter goes through each zodiac sign. It takes 1 year. So we get a whole year of Jupiter in the sign that it's currently moving through, or the constellation where it's sitting at, and from our perspective on Earth. Now, Jupiter on the 16th of May, so 6 days ago, went into the sign of Taurus. Now, you may, I'll have my new moon blog post up soon. It's not quite all the finishing touches need to be put on it. But at the time of the new moon, we had 6 planets in Taurus. So it is a Taurus kind of energy. Real quick, what is Taurus? Taurus is the second sign of the zodiac following Aries. And it happens April 19th, 20th, the cusp, to just recently yesterday, that May 19th, 21st, around there. And Taurus is a fixed sign, meaning it doesn't move. Its power is to stabilize. And it's an earth element sign. So think of roots in the earth element. We think of trees. We think of things going deep into the earth, like stones that keep the earth together. Big, heavy, deep-rooted, powerful earth energy. That's Taurus. And its power animal is the bull. So you think of the bull with its horns. You can't force a bull to do what it doesn't want to do. You can't push that bull. It's strong. The bull moves when the bull wants to move. And then we have that, stop and smell the roses. So the bull, the ox, the cattle, it is a sacred symbol to many religions throughout time. So the bull is powerful energy. And in astrology, it rules our second house. And the second house is about safety, security, finances, self-worth, self-dignity, feeling worthy and deserving, right? That second house, I want to feel safe. I want to feel secure. And it's the kind of energy where I want to have a lot of money in my savings or in my retirement. thinking about the future. It's sustaining what sustains you, to help you feel safe and secure. That's its modus operandi. Why do I want money? I want money to feel secure, to feel safe, to have more. Its a mantra is to have. Now we put Jupiter in alignment or in conjunction with that energy of Taurus and wants to expand all that. So Jupiter power in Taurus is wanting to expand safety, security, finances, abundance, gratitude, feeling worthy, feeling like, oh, wow, I love myself. I am so worthy of having what I dream of, or having what, oh, not even just what I need, but what I want. What do I dream of? So Jupiter's asking you, like, dream big. Don't limit yourself. Don't, look for those limiting belief patterns and pull them out. Uproot those limiting beliefs or fears that keep you from living your life. So that's Jupiter's job to help you throughout now through 2024, when he changes signs into Gemini next year. Okay, so what I do is I create a chart at the moment Jupiter goes into Taurus, and that was 10:20 a.m. on May 16th, 2023, and I'm here in California, so I do it on Pacific daylight time. And so I see the chart and then I read the chart. And so these are the things that I can help you with. I can help you create charts and help you read charts so that you feel confident and you get what you need from that knowledge and you bring it into your life and it helps you. That's the whole point of astrology for me. I want to know what's going on and I want to bring it into my life and I want it to help me. And when I feel helped, then I can go out confidently and help others. So that's the beauty of being alive and well on planet Earth. Okay, so when I was looking at the chart, I noticed that there's a diamond figure from the way the planets were sitting in the chart. And I will share the chart as well so you can see, but there's a diamond in the chart. And if you're new to the group or my channel, I love to use the Sabian symbols. I use multiple modalities across the astrological panorama so that we can really go, okay, what does that mean? And for me, the Sabian symbols is a modality that really speaks to me. And what are the Sabian symbols real quick? They are 360 images that connect to each degree in the zodiac, which, we have 12 signs, 30 degrees, 12 times 30, 360, and that's the area of a circle. And so there's 360 images connected to each degree in the zodiac. And so when I make a chart, I'm so curious, what are the images? I'm a very visual person, and you can, pictures speak 1,000 words. So if you're intuitive, visual, and you can kind of read images, they really help me understand, like, wow, that is about that, right? Whereas if I look at a chart kind of flat, I may not see that right away, but symbols for me really are a roadmap to finding where are the hot spots in that event and where to put my focus. Because one of the things you'll learn with astrology is you might look at it and go, oh my God, there's so much information here. How is it going to be possible for me to read that? Right? But when you find this, what I like to call the sweet spot or the hot spot, then you focus in on that. And that's the key that kind of unlocks all the doors to the understanding of what that astrological event means for you. So that's what I'm doing. And that's what, this means. Okay, so there's a diamond in the chart, and I hope you're sitting down, because one of the Sabian symbols talks about a diamond. So I'm like, bing, 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 bing. When you have like a double resonance in the chart, that's, to me, says, that's the first door I opened. Even though this is about Jupiter and Taurus, I am going to open another doorway that's going to make it all make sense. So that's why I was so excited. I'm like, I don't care what I got to do. I got to get on this Facebook Live so I can talk to you and tell you what to focus on and watch out for. And I'm going to be focusing on this throughout the year for us because it's so clear. It's undeniable. Okay. So when Jupiter went into Taurus, it did create what's called a grand cross. And it looks like a square in the chart. And so the square is, 90-degree angles. There's 4 planets sitting at these fixed grand cross. Now, a grand square, you get into the tension that's formed by those, 90-degree angles. But if you open it up into the cross, you look at the oppositions rather than the squares. And that's a lot easier for us to kind of have more movement and adaptability and understand, it gives us bigger range of a perspective to see like, okay, I've got more breathing room rather than I'm kind of constricted. So I really appreciate oppositions over squares, even though squares build the energy to help you make a breakthrough. And we'll talk about that as we go along throughout this Jupiter and Taurus energy. So the opposites are found in Jupiter at 0 degrees, opposing the South Node at 3 degrees Scorpio. So they sit exactly opposite, and opposites are deep harmony when you look at it from resonance and vibration and sound and music. So it's like an octave. And so the South Node is the past lives, past timelines. It's clearing the past. So we have Jupiter, bright, jovial, expansive in Taurus, wanting to expand our self-worth. And the South Node's like, well, let's clean up past lives where you didn't quite feel that way. That might be some residue that needs clearing, but not just that it's residue, let's get rid of it. It's bound energy that needs to be freed. And when it's freed, it flows into its opposing partner, which is Jupiter. So Jupiter's saying, I want that bound energy that's down there in Scorpio. Let's release it in this year. And it's a really beautiful when you look at the Sabian symbols. Okay, and the other opposing angle that creates the Grand Cross is Mars, ancient ruler of Scorpio, opposing Pluto, modern ruler of Scorpio. So we have a lot of help to understand how to release the bound energy that the 3 degrees Scorpio South Node is tied into. So it's like, this is the way we unrelease the knots, free the energy, and then we have a lot more space to expand, which is Jupiter's job to help us. Okay, so let's look at real quick 4 images. So if you want, you can close your eyes and just imagine these images. And when you imagine these images, something's happening in your third eye, your crystal palace, which is made up of 4 glands, which are your pituitary, your pineal, your thalamus, and hypothalamus. And this is like our enlightenment energy. And I'm going to talk about that and help you learn how to tap in and develop and expand your crystal palace in my offering on the full moon. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so have fun with me if you can. Close your eyes and just use the power of your imagination. I want you to close your eyes and imagine a clear mountain stream. Clear mountain stream. So up in the mountain, snow, maybe snow melts in the spring, and all this water, clean, fresh, clear water coming down, clear mountain stream. Notice how you feel. What comes up? Maybe it's a place you visited. Maybe it's a place of your dreams. Maybe it's just a really peaceful place. So just allow that image to do its magic on you through the power of your imagination, which is opening that third eye and developing your intuition. All right. Now just put that image to the side in your mind. Take a nice breath in and out. And the next image I want you to imagine is a youth, a young person, holding a candle. So imagine young person, a youth, holding a candle. And just be curious about what's he doing or she doing or they doing. What are they? Where are they? Is it dark? Is it night? Is it day? Are they in a building? Are they outside? Are they at home? What are they doing? Okay. So your image will be perfect for you. Okay, so we're going to put those opposite each other. Now we're going to fill in the other 2 images, and then we're going to get a sense, because now your intuition's engaged and you're downloading now from the wisdom of the planets at these degrees through these images, which are like lenses in a camera or filters. Okay, next one I want you to imagine. Now, keep in mind, these symbols are from the 20s, so they're dated. So I'm going to say what it is, and then I'm going to update it. I want you to imagine what they're calling a modern Pocahontas, or a indigenous woman who's in her power as a leader. Okay, so you create her and her power and her strength. What she look like? Where is she? Where, maybe she's from a certain tribe that either you're from or you're familiar with, or that you love or you resonate with. And then we're going to move her to the side, and then opposite her, I want you to create this last image, an old Adobe mission. Old Adobe mission. And notice as you create that image, what comes up. You might get a whole download. You might get a story. You might get a time in history, right? You might get a sense. What's that about? Remember, they're opposites. They're working together. Okay, so that's a fun exercise you can do with the saving symbols. We're just going to allow that to float to the side, because these are ways that you'll get impressions, ahas, curiosity, like, wow, that's interesting. I wonder, why did I think of that? Or maybe that'll open a door for you to explore a little bit. Let me learn about that. So for me, I'm from California. In the 1800s, we had these old Adobe missions, and also I'm sure in the Southwest as well. But they were set up, and they were set up by missionaries in the West here, but they were not a place of refuge or sanctuary for indigenous people. They were a place of torture. And so to me, when I look at that, for me, there's a resurgence. Remember, we're working with the South Node. We're clearing old karmic residue of past pain and suffering. That's the shadow of Scorpio. Oppression, slavery, possession, owning, right? It's not a good feeling vibration. It's trauma. So to me, this Jupiter and Taurus is deeply rooted in clearing the indigenous genocidal trauma of the United States. As far as me, because I live here. Now, you might live in another country where it could be, in South America, it could be the indigenous people there, indigenous people all over the world. Australia, New Zealand, right? So we're clearing, that's going to come up for clearing. So that to me makes me feel so good, because in America, they're the lost people, right? And they still suffer to this day across the country, and it's not right. So I'm very glad to see that this is now starting to come from deep within. It needs clearing, it needs nurturing, it needs our attention. And then when we go up to the top, and then we have that mountain stream, and we have that youth holding the candle, again, it's a spiritual connected to the earth. It's bringing more light into the darkness. It's the young people, the next generation. So it's really interesting. So I'm just going to leave that there. I just thought that was really powerful. But I want to get on to 2 more things, and then I'll jump off the line and be back later. Okay, so again, when we look at the chart, I zero in on the moon, because that's the core, right? That's the emotional energy that is where we go to clear things, especially when I see the fixed square with the South Node in Scorpio. That's some deep emotional trauma that needs clearing. So I go right to the moon, and in the chart, the moon is conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer, right? So that's healing these deep blood wounds that are, passed down through the blood, generation to generation to generation. The moon there saying ancestral stuff in the past that is continuing to wound us in every generation. It needs to be cleared. And so I just loved the images for this. We were talking about imagination and how powerful it is. So Chiron appears as the Samian symbol of a magical carpet, the magic carpet. And that's about using your imagination to connect you to a different reality where you're more empowered as a soul. And we'll talk about that as we move forward. The moon, 19 degrees Aries. So it's healing the divine child, the divine self, the inner spark of source-like creation that inhabits your physical body. And remember, we had the youth holding the candle. Now the moon's appearing as a young girl feeding birds in the winter. And now we're in spring, we're coming out of winter. And the young girl is the youth, the innocence that sees a need and fills it, right? So when we heal our core root emotional stuff, especially residue from the past, ancestral karmic imbalances that come up for us that when we get triggered, and a lot of times it's in our unconscious, subconscious. We don't know why we're feeling like this, but it could be because 5 generations ago, there's a wound that's still bleeding, right? And all of a sudden we get triggered and we don't know why we're feeling this way. So the young girl is about the act of giving. Now, remember when we talked earlier, like when you feel healed, your natural response is, oh, I want to go help somebody, right? That's when you're feeling good. Oh, I want to share it. Like that's a natural human soul response. So the young girl is saying, when you give, when I'm feeding those birds and I'm making sure that they will survive in the winter when food is short and sparse, and I'm taking a step to make a difference. That's the act of giving. Spiritual nourishment is felt as joy. So imagine that young girl feeding the birds. She's ecstatic. That's why I posted that video of the lady, the bird lady, she made the little bird feeder glasses thing. She's awesome. She's called the bird lady, I think. She reminded me of that Sabian symbol. So we have it coming back. And it's going to be emanating that symbol for a year as Jupiter transits through Taurus. Okay, so that's so part 1 was the big square between Jupiter, the South Node, Mars, and Pluto. Part 2 is the Moon and Chiron. Now part 3. Good things always come in threes. And this is where I was like, oh my God, I'm dying. I'm dying now. This is great. Now, Taurus energy. We looked at who is the ruler of Taurus. Now, remember, Earth sign, so it's got to be goddess, right? Venus. Venus is the ruler of Taurus. So I looked in the chart, okay, where's Venus? And Venus has a prominent position. And to me, Venus, with her sidekick, who she's in a harmonic trine with Saturn, are bringing it home. This is the grand slam at the end that wins the game. The walk-off home run. This is it. So Venus is 9 degrees Cancer, Saturn 6 degrees Pisces. So water trine, feeling, nurturing, love, mothering, maternal, family. Remember, we're clearing family trauma from generations ago. Venus's Sabian symbol. I hope you're sitting down, not driving. A large diamond not cut. And I'm like, there's the diamond right there in the chart. And Venus is like, hi, I'm the diamond. Hello, Shannon, make sure. And I'm like, holy smokes. Okay. And remember, we had the old Adobe mission from Pluto, and Pluto's a ruler of that Scorpio South node. And we're clearing kind of that missionary trauma that happened, especially in America and South America and Europe. I mean, it's been all over the place for years. A cross laying on the rocks. That's Saturn sign in Pisces, and Pisces can represent religion. So this is not saying that religion is wrong. No way. There's a lot of love and beauty sewn in to organized religion, but there's also a lot of pain and suffering. And that's what Pisces wants to clear up, is look back at kind of religious persecutions, the way religion was used to enslave people, hurt people, kill people, right? And we've seen that, since the time of Jesus and beyond and before, right? Okay, so Venus to me says, okay, I'm the diamond here. Pay attention to me this year. Venus. So we're going to be watching you, Venus, throughout this whole year. And guess who's the star of 2023? Venus. Why? Because she goes retrograde this year. And you're going to like go, what the heck? I got one more surprise on Venus. So Venus, she doesn't retrograde that often. She actually retrogrades the least often. So we're going to have a Venus retrograde this year. So that's a big deal. So Jupiter and Taurus is a big deal. Taurus ruler Venus is a big deal. Venus goes retrograde, a bigger deal. Okay, so I'm going to end this with this. I mean, I had to like put this under my pillow and sleep on it because it was so good. I'm like, I don't want to let it go. It's so good. Okay, so Venus upcoming retrograde journey. And I'm just giving you the highlights. And we're going to be, digging into this archaeological digs in 2023. So her journey will begin when she's in Leo. Right now she's in Cancer, right? And she's just starting her journey in Cancer. She's like, hey, I'm not in a rush. But I will go to Leo and I'm going to retrograde. I'm going to spend a lot of time in Leo. So her retrograde begins on July 23rd, right before the day out of time in the Mayan calendar. Also, July 22nd, 23rd is a feast day of a very important Venusian archetypal goddess on our planet, in our history, Mary Magdalene's feast day. Where's the tissue? So great. OMG. So Venus, which is a very Venusian archetypal goddess, and some of you might be Mary Magdalene initiates, but she is a very, very important person in our feminine history because she's been so maligned and misunderstood and told lies about. And some have, who she really was. And in a lot of countries, she's revered. So Venus goes retrograde on the feast day of Mary Magdalene. So I'm like, okay, Mary Magdalene is going to come back through the veil, the portal. I hope so. Okay, she begins her retrograde at 28 degrees Leo, so at the end of Leo. And then she retrogrades back to 12 degrees Leo. And then she'll move forward, passing 28 degrees and then moving forward. So we have a pre and post. The pre zone is when she hits that 12 degrees Leo. And I wrote that down. That's June 20th, summer solstice. Very powerful day. And the post is October 7th. So that's kind of the range. We're looking at June 20th, October 7th for the pre and post, the retrograde itself. So it's pretty significant part of 2023. And when I was looking at the ephemeris to go, okay, I'm looking for the exact degrees, when does she go, when does she go direct? And of course, anytime like you're looking at spiritual energy, it doesn't matter what book you open, there's always a message. So I accidentally opened to 2022. So I'm like, okay, where was she on, when I looked at it yesterday in 2022, and she was at, Venus was at the 21 degrees Aries, and she was at the gate of the Garden of Desire. Oh my God, no wonder I needed to see that. And it's she's bringing to us the opportunity for new experiences for the divine feminine moving forward, not based on the wounding and the suffering of the past, but a new experience once it's healed. So that's where we're going. But when we look at the retrograde, guess what her Sabian symbols are? I was like, this is just, who wrote this? I need to speak to the divine creator. So good. This is Oscar level winning moments. So at 28 degrees Leo, Venus Sabian symbol is a mermaid. And if you don't already know, Venus in her most exalted sign is Pisces. What's Pisces? Water, mermaid. So this is like the Queen of Heaven, which is also a Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, all of that. The tribe called Marys, those are the queens of heaven. So she's exalted in that image, a mermaid. So a mermaid begins the journey. And I know a lot of mermaids. I actually know 2 are going on swim with dolphins at the end of at the beginning of September during this retrograde. They're going to be in the water as mermaids in Bimini. Isn't that cool? I wish I was going. That's okay. Next time. So the mermaid begins the journey. So that's kind of our ancient self, right? Returning to the cosmic mother ocean. And the retrograde stops at 12 degrees Leo, and it's an old sea captain rocking in a chair. I'm like, sea captain, mermaid. This is like, such a real story. And so basically what the old sea captain, where she's ending, is saying, by contemplating the past, what's a retrograde? I look back and I review what's happened. So the sea captain's like, by contemplating the past, we add value to the future. And what's the future? But she showed me in the date of last year was new experiences that are cleared of the karmic residue of the past trauma in the energy of Venus is Mary Magdalene, the harlot, the prostitute, the diminishment, the bearing of all that beauty and grace and power and position. Because in Mary Magdalene lore, she was the wife, the bride of Christ. That was buried. Why? We want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. But yeah, isn't that cool? So some of the things you can ask yourself, because I always love to give the Lunar Ladies a head start, right? We show up prepared. And when opportunity and preparedness meet, you have success. That's my whole modus operandi for everything that I want to help you with, is I want you to be prepared. So the moment these alignments, these opportunities come, you're like already winning the race. You're on it. So that's my job, is to prepare you and to help you meet these moments so that you can bust through, expand, grow, seize, carpe diem, so that you bring more joy into your own personal life, because I know once you do, you're going to spread it around your world. And that is a good thing. That makes the world a brighter, better, more exciting place to be. Okay, 2 questions for you as I leave you. I always go a little longer than I say, but I can't help it. There's just so much to say. What new experiences do you want? Write it in your journal. Contemplate. You can even bring those images in. Youth holding a candle, a clear mountain stream, a modern day indigenous woman, an old adobe mission, a magic carpet, a young girl feeding birds in the winter, a mermaid, an old sea captain. You can, all those, have your pick. To help you tune in, what new experience do you want? Right? Now you might be going, well, I haven't had that experience yet, but I still want. You could put that in there. Or maybe go, if I updated it, what would it look like now? Something new. And the second question is, what's your soul yearning for? What new experience is your soul yearning for? And I'll give you a clue if you want to use your chart to kind of get like, okay, how do I know that? Look at your north node. Look at your north node in your chart by sign, by house, and by degree. And when the degree, you can go to sabiansymbols.com, look up that number for your north node, and you'll get the Sabian symbol. It's called the symbol lookup on sabiansymbols.com. Linda Hill, brilliant Australia astrologist. She created her own interpretation, a reinterpretation of the Sabian symbols, and she created a beautiful website that's super functional. You can look up the Sabian symbols, as well as she has like an oracle, and you can like type in your question and boom, it just randomly pops up a Sabian symbol. I love playing her oracle. Anytime I'm like, I don't know what's going on, I'll go there, and I'll put the link in the description so that you can just click on it. I always get help. It's very, very powerful website. What's your soul yearning for? Hint, look at your north node. Right? Like my north node is 14 degrees Aries in the 11th house. So how I would start breaking that down, 11th house, groups, people, friends, Facebook, Aries. Oh, I got to be something about myself. I got to put myself out there. And then, I might be a little on the shy side. And I'm like, well, I can do that if I know what I'm talking about, right? But I have something to say. So then I get filled with things to say. So then I don't have any more excuses. I get out there and say, hi, this is me. And I'm really excited about this. So that's an Aries vibration. What excites you. But for me, and for all the Aries North nodes out there, we are pretty soon going to have a lunar return. Happens every 18 to 19 years. Yeah, it's our time to shine. As soon as the lunar nodes bust out of Taurus, they go backwards. So they're going to be in Aries for 18 months. Okay, enough of that. I'm so excited to read your comments, see your questions, and see how you feel. And I will be back tomorrow. We have Janet Nixick. Yay! She is coming in and she's going to lead us in an amazing healing abundance meditation circle. So if you definitely join us live if you can, 12:30 California time, or you can enjoy the replay because the replay is just as wonderful as the live. And then I will be back. I'm going to put the astro update for the week so you can see that. And then the new moon blog post is a bit late, but it'll be there. And then we'll be talking again. Hopefully I might, I'll look to see if something exciting is happening this week. I'll pop back, but I would like to at least go live to share with you information at least once a week, if not more. Okay, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for staying and watching. And thank you for sharing this with others who you might think that it could help them or find it interesting or make their day. And I'm really excited to journey this year with you through Jupiter and Taurus and Venus retrograde. We're going to have a blast. All right. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.